Most people think their birth month is just a detail on a certificate, a date, a number, a coincidence. But what if I told you that the month you were born was not random? It was a signal, a spiritual time stamp, a divine whisper declaring, this is when the world needs you. There's an ancient belief echoed in astrology, numerology, and even psychology that time holds patterns, and those patterns shape who we become. Not just how we feel, but why we are here. You didn't arrive late. You weren't early. You were born on time for a reason that goes deeper than logic. Each month carries a unique energetic imprint. It influences your emotional strengths, your spiritual challenges, and even your soul's mission. Those born in January often carry the weight of leadership. August births tend to bring protectors and community builders. December babies, often visionaries, preparing the path for others. But here's what they don't tell you. Knowing your birth month isn't about astrology predictions. It's about remembering the purpose you already carry, written into the very timing of your arrival. So if you've ever felt lost, like you were meant for more, but couldn't explain why, this video will show you why your life has always had a direction, even when you couldn't see the compass. Now, let's dive deep into the sacred patterns of time and discover why the month you were born reveals the purpose you were called to fulfill. We're taught to look at time in days, hours, and deadlines. But there's another way to see it: time as a language, a spiritual alphabet that speaks not in words, but in rhythms. You were born into a season, a month, a moment. And that moment wasn't just a point on the calendar. It was a frequency, an energetic code that shaped how your soul would show up in the world. Ancient civilizations knew this. From the Babylonians to the Egyptians, from the Celts to the Mayans, they understood that the time of your birth wasn't trivial. It was a clue to your inner design. Modern science is catching up. Carl Jung, one of the founding fathers of modern psychology, spoke often about archetypes and the collective unconscious patterns that repeat across time and people. He believed deeply in synchronicity, the idea that nothing is random, especially timing. When you were born, the world was in a specific emotional state, not just weather or climate, but spiritual energy. And that energy left a fingerprint on you. People born in the colder months often grow up learning to find warmth inside themselves. Those born during vibrant seasons like spring or summer, they often bring light, creativity, and outward expression. This isn't just poetic, it's deeply practical. When you feel out of sync in life, it's often because you've disconnected from your original rhythm, the one you were born into. Have you ever noticed how some people seem naturally aligned with their path? They may not even know why, but they're living in sync with the emotional tone of their birth. That tone whispers reminders of who they are meant to be. And those who feel lost, anxious, or stuck, they often forgot to listen. Not because they're broken, but because they've been distracted from the music of their own beginning. Reconnecting with your birth month is not superstition. It's a return to your spiritual blueprint. It's the difference between pushing through life and flowing with it. Each month represents a stage in the soul's journey from awakening to building to guiding others. And once you decode the rhythm you were born into, you'll begin to understand why certain paths feel natural and others feel like a battlefield. Have you ever wondered why you keep attracting the same painful patterns into your love life? It's not bad luck, it's your energy attracting what feels familiar, not what you truly desire. My ebook, The Law of Attraction in Relationships, guides you step by step on how to break free from these frustrating cycles and finally start attracting love that is genuine, fulfilling, and aligned with who you truly are. Don't let another day pass trapped in relationships that drain you. Your breakthrough starts now. Click the link pinned in the first comment to transform your love life today. If you were born between January and April, you carry something rare, the energy of beginnings. Not just in the year, but in life itself. This period marks the start of cycles, the rising of light, the return of movement after the stillness of winter. And people born in these months often mirror that rhythm. They are the ones who ignite, initiate, and lead. Let's begin with January. It's a month of deep discipline. Those born in January often feel older than their age, even as children. There's a seriousness about them, not heavy, but purposeful. They're called to be architects of systems, builders of legacy. They see long-term where others see only now. But here's the tension. January souls often carry the weight of responsibility too early. They learn to lead because no one else steps up. Their purpose: to show the world that structure isn't a cage, it's a foundation for freedom. Then comes February, the rebel. These souls weren't made to follow scripts. They feel the call of the future before it arrives. Innovators, truth tellers, often misunderstood because they don't fit in boxes and never will. Their gift is their vision, but their challenge is loneliness. Their purpose is to wake others up by refusing to sleepwalk through life themselves. March brings the first real whispers of spring. Souls born here often carry a deep emotional intelligence. They feel everything, sometimes too much. They are the healers, the dreamers, the connectors. But growing up, they may have been told they were too sensitive. Their purpose: to prove that sensitivity is not weakness, it's sacred power. And then comes April. Bold, fiery, restless. These souls don't wait, they move. They are wired for action. Born to challenge, to break stagnation, to spark movement wherever they go. Their struggle: learning patience, learning to channel their fire without burning out. Their purpose is to inspire motion in a world stuck in fear. But here's the truth that unites all of them. People born in these first months often feel like they're carrying something bigger than themselves, like they were dropped into the world already running. They don't ease into life, they're thrown into the fire, because they're the ones who can handle the heat. If that's you, and you've ever wondered why others don't seem to feel the same urgency, it's because your soul was wired to begin things. You're not here to wait for permission. You're here to go first. But going first comes with cost. It can feel isolating. People misunderstand your drive. You may question yourself, wondering if you're too intense, too much, too soon. You're not. You're exactly on time. And once you stop trying to soften your light to fit into dim spaces, you'll realize you're never too much. You were just born to start fires where others only saw ashes. If January through April is the time of ignition, then May to August is the time of construction. People born in these months were not just made to start things, they were made to sustain them. They carry the grounding, stabilizing energy the world needs when dreams must become reality. Let's begin with May, a month soaked in growth, beauty, and resilience. Souls born in May often have an inner calm, a quiet knowing that no matter how chaotic the world gets, they were built to stand firm. But their strength isn't loud, it's steady. They are often drawn to nurture projects, people, even places. Their purpose: to remind the world that consistency is sacred, and that roots, once deep, can weather any storm. Then comes June. These are the emotional anchors of the calendar. People born in June often feel an intense pull toward family, community, and emotional safety. But don't mistake their softness for fragility. Beneath the tenderness is fierce loyalty and protective fire. They're here to build homes for the heart, not just physical ones, but emotional sanctuaries where others feel seen and safe. Their struggle: learning to give without losing themselves. Their purpose: to heal the world through connection without sacrificing their own soul in the process. July births the guardians, the fierce empaths. They are often the quiet warriors carrying generational burdens, yet refusing to let trauma define them. They build by breaking cycles, by standing between the past and future and choosing something better. Their path is often heavy, but their spirit is unstoppable. Their purpose: to be the bridge between old pain and new possibility, to prove that even the most wounded hearts can create worlds of light. And then there's August, powerful, commanding. These souls often step into leadership naturally, even when they don't want to. Why? Because others feel their strength, because their presence calms chaos, because they were born to protect and elevate. But August-borns often struggle with loneliness. Leadership can be isolating when you're always expected to have the answers. Their purpose: to lead not from ego, but from servanthood, to show that true power isn't control, it's sacrifice and love. Together, These for months birth the builders of the world. The ones who don't just dream, they make it real. They endure, they hold, they grow. And because of them, visions don't fade, they flourish. But many of these souls feel invisible. They're not always celebrated like initiators or praised like visionaries. They're in the middle, in the tension, holding it all together quietly. If that's you, know this. Your quiet strength is not unseen by the universe. It is deeply honored. You weren't called to shake the world with noise. You are called to shape it with presence, to build spaces where others can become themselves. And in doing that, you become more of who you really are. Have you ever wondered why you keep attracting the same painful patterns into your love life? It's not bad luck, it's your energy attracting what feels familiar, not what you truly desire. My ebook, The Law of Attraction in Relationships, guides you step by step on how to break free from these frustrating cycles and finally start attracting love that is genuine, fulfilling, and aligned with who you truly are. Don't let another day pass trapped in relationships that drain you. Your breakthrough starts now. Click the link pinned in the first comment to transform your love life today. Up next, we'll explore those born from September to December, the visionaries, the closers, the wise souls sent to help us finish what we started and prepare for the next cycle. As the year begins to close, something shifts. The world slows. The light softens. And into this atmosphere arrive the souls of completion, those born between September and December. They carry the energy of reflection, integration, and vision, not just to witness what has been, but to prepare what is coming. Let's begin with September. There's a sacred order in this month. Souls born here are natural organizers, not just of things, but of people, systems, and ideas. But their gift goes beyond structure. They carry an inner compass, always pointing toward truth. They're here to refine, to remove the excess, to bring purity back to purpose. Their struggle? Perfectionism. Trying so hard to get it right, they sometimes forget they're already enough. Their purpose is to balance precision with grace, logic with heart. Then comes October, a month of transition and a soul energy of transformation. People born in October often have intense emotional depth. They see both the shadow and the light, not just in others, but in themselves. They are the mediators, the truth holders, the ones who can sit in tension without flinching. Their challenge? Trusting that not every storm is theirs to carry. Their purpose? To guide others through change, not by fixing them, but by walking beside them. November is fire in disguise. Beneath the stillness, these souls carry passion, depth, and intuition that often feels supernatural. Born during the darkest month of the year in many places, they learn early how to find light in themselves. And because of that, they often become healers, artists, and spiritual warriors. But their path is not easy. They face betrayal, abandonment, deep emotional pain, not as punishment, but as preparation. Their purpose is to transmute pain into power, and to teach others how to rise from the ashes without shame. And then there's December, the finale, the old soul, the prophet. Souls born in December carry an awareness that feels ancient. They are often misunderstood in youth, too philosophical, too dreamy, too far away, but as they grow, they become guides. Their wisdom comes not from books, but from something deeper, a spiritual memory that whispers, "You've done this before." Their challenge? Staying grounded. Their gift? Seeing the horizon even when others only see fog. Their purpose is to prepare others for what's next, to plant seeds for futures they may never live to see. What unites these for months is this: they are the season of the seer, the visionary, the soul that arrives not just to act, but to understand, to synthesize, to leave something better behind. These people don't just finish the year. They help complete the soul's journey. But it can be lonely, because being a visionary often means seeing what others don't and carrying the weight of that insight in silence. If that's you, know this: you are not here to be understood by everyone. You are here to illuminate what others are afraid to face, to bring wisdom, closure, and courage into a world desperate for meaning. You weren't born to follow trends. You were born to transcend them, to show us what matters when everything else fades. that your birth month doesn't matter. We'll show why time is not random and how coincidence is often just unrecognized alignment. We live in a culture obsessed with logic. If it can't be measured, tested, or proven, it must not matter. And so, many of us grow up believing that the month we were born in is just trivia, a coincidence, a cosmic accident. But what if it's not? What if the timing of your birth was part of a larger pattern, one that you chose before you arrived? Carl Jung once said, "We are born at a given moment, in a given place, and like vintage years of wine, we have the qualities of the year and the season in which we are born." To Jung, time wasn't random, it was symbolic, a language of the soul. And our birth date was one of its most important messages. If you feel something stir in you as you read this, that's not your imagination. That's recognition. Because deep inside, your spirit remembers. Think of the people you've met. Some feel like they were born to shake the world awake. Others radiate quiet healing or carry wisdom beyond their years. Now ask yourself, is that just personality? Or is it timing? Studies in psychology and even behavioral economics have found that our birth month can subtly influence our life paths, from school entry age to emotional development, even to leadership tendencies. But beneath the science is something more sacred, the belief that your soul chose a moment to arrive, not because it was easy, but because it carried the lessons, energy, and opportunities your purpose would require. If you were born in the stillness of winter, perhaps your soul needed to learn to create warmth from within. If you arrived during summer's height, maybe you were meant to shine boldly, to carry light into dark places. Coincidence or soul design? The truth is, we've been conditioned to doubt our own timing, to rush, to delay, to compare. And in doing so, we disconnect from the unique rhythm we were born into. But when you stop seeing your birth month as just a date and start seeing it as a spiritual map, everything changes. You begin to forgive yourself for paths that didn't make sense to others because you realize they weren't supposed to. They were aligned with your cycle, not theirs. You stop forcing timelines that feel unnatural and instead start trusting your divine pace. You notice that every major awakening in your life had timing, not always convenient, but always meaningful. One woman I worked with was born in February. For years, she felt like she didn't belong, to unconventional, too intense. But when she finally embraced her birth month's archetype, the rebel, the visionary, she stopped apologizing for her difference and started using it to lead others out of stagnation. Another was born in September, always seeking perfection, always anxious, until she realized her gift wasn't to be flawless, it was to bring order to chaos and teach others how to heal with clarity. These aren't just nice stories, they're mirrors. And if you look deeply, you'll see yourself reflected in the season of your own arrival. So know your birth month isn't coincidence, it's invitation to come back into harmony with your true nature, to remember what your soul already knows. You're right on time. How to not only understand your purpose, but to embody it fully, day by day, decision by decision. What happens when you stop fighting your timing and start flowing with? When you stop asking, "Why am I not there yet?" and start asking, "What is this season trying to teach me?" Something powerful shifts. You stop living like life is chasing you and start living like you're exactly where you're meant to be, because you are. When you align with the energy of your birth month, you begin to notice things others miss. The way your intuition sharpens, the way clarity returns, the way resistance falls away, and what used to feel forced starts to feel guided. Let's say you were born in April, a month of fire and initiation, and yet you've been living cautiously, waiting for permission. You feel restless, anxious, disconnected. That's your soul calling you back to your original rhythm: boldness, movement, action. Your peace doesn't come from slowing down, it comes from stepping into the arena. Or maybe you were born in July, a nurturing month, full of heart. But somewhere along the way, life hardened you. You stopped trusting people. You stopped trusting yourself. When you realign with your soul's timing, you start letting love back in, not because it's easy, but because your purpose was never to protect yourself from pain. It was to heal others through your own vulnerability. Living in sync with your birth energy doesn't mean life becomes effortless. It means life becomes aligned, and that alignment gives birth to something rare, peace in motion. A feeling that even when things get hard, you're not lost. You're exactly where your soul needs to be. It's not about being the loudest, the fastest, or the most successful. It's about being true. True to the pattern you were born into. True to the strengths you were given. True to the mission you felt, even before you could name it. So how do you begin? Start by revisiting your birth month, not with curiosity, but with reverence. Ask, what does this time of year reflect in nature? What does it mirror in me? Then, look back at your life. What themes keep repeating? Where do you feel most alive, most aligned, most you? That's not random. That's resonance. Your soul remembers where it came from. It's trying to guide you back, not to the past, but to your truest path. And when you follow that, your life stops feeling like a question mark and starts feeling like an answer. You begin making decisions that match your energy. You begin saying yes to what feeds your soul and no to what only feeds your fear. You start attracting relationships, careers, and experiences that reflect the vibration of your calling. This is when everything shifts, not overnight, but undeniably. And the best part, you don't need to change who you are. You just need to remember. Remember the child who felt different but couldn't explain why. The teen who questioned everything, who didn't want to fit in. The adult who still feels there's something more. There is. And it begins with honoring the time you're born, not as a date, but as a declaration. You weren't sent here to be someone else. You were sent to be the fullest version of you. So let the world spin fast. Let others chase timelines and trophies. You have something greater, alignment with your soul's time. And from that place, you don't just live, you lead, you love, you leave a legacy. And I'll share one powerful practice. You can start today to reconnect with your soul's rhythm and walk in your purpose with peace. Take a moment. Breathe. Let this truth settle into your spirit. You are not born by accident. You are born on purpose, with purpose, at the perfect time. The world may have told you otherwise. Maybe you were made to feel like your timing was off, too early, too late, too behind, too ahead. But none of that is true. You are exactly who you're meant to be, born into the exact season that holds the blueprint for your becoming. Your birth month is more than a marker on a calendar. It's a mirror, one that reflects your soul's rhythm, your natural gifts, your sacred wounds, and your deeper mission. So now you have a choice. You can return to autopilot, treating your life like a list of tasks to complete. Or you can start honoring your life as a spiritual masterpiece in progress, one that begins by accepting that even your arrival was divine. Here's something you can do right now. Spend 10 minutes today reflecting on what your birth month teaches you. What does that time of year feel like in your body? What memories, emotions, or patterns are attached to it? Write. Reflect. Remember. Because as you do, you'll start reconnecting with the version of yourself that was never lost, just waiting to be remembered. This journey doesn't end here. It's just beginning. Because once you start aligning with your time, you'll notice everything around you shift, not because the world changed, but because you finally did. And next time, we're going even deeper. We'll explore a truth that many fear to face, but once you do, everything begins to make sense. Your soul chose your family. Here's why. If you've ever wondered why you were born into your exact family, with all its love, pain, chaos, or silence, don't miss what's coming next. Until then, remember, your purpose isn't hiding. It's encoded in your time. And now you're ready to live it.